With a WWE star injured at a live event and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Taking to Twitter, Maria Kanellis would inform the public that one of her social media accounts has been compromised, as she wrote, "Hello, I hate to report that my Facebook is no longer mine. It has been hacked and is now being used for ads and propaganda." Speaking to wrestling news about his run as the Intercontinental Champion, former WWE star Santino Marella said, "Originally, we were going to go I think the idea was to go right up to the record and then lose it like a day before. But plans changed and we dropped the title somewhere on a European tour and that was it." During a WWE live event, referee Jessica Carr would get involved in the action, hitting Sami Zayn with a stunner. When talking about his eventual retirement from the ring, Sting revealed to The Ringer, "Well, I know Darby is going to be a part of it for sure. I won't have a singles match at this point. Darby will be along with me, and I'll be along with him, and we can add more to it as far as I'm concerned. But I have a few people in mind, and I really don't want to say now." Touching on the deactivation of the 24/7 title in WWE and if a hardcore belt could work in pro wrestling today, Road Dogg mentioned on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast that, "I don't know if they could do a hardcore championship thing, but I think they still do a little wild west stuff. I mean, you still see some chairs come into play. You still see them going through a table and stuff, so I think there's enough TLC and Street Fight and stuff like that where you get those elements in your product. I don't think Hunter's philosophy is that 24/7 kind of hardcore title. It's a secondary and kind of made up, and I just don't think he sees value in it. I don't know that I do either, because it was a little more blood and guts back then. What we were fighting for real, half of us were. It was violent, but it was fun too. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a place for it anymore." With Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler losing their AAA Tag Team title recently, it seems the duo is done with the Mexico-based promotion, as it was reported that FTR is done with AAA for the time being. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler dropped the AAA Tag Team titles on December 28th. Fightful Select had reported that week prior that the duo were expected to drop the titles, and now we know it served a dual purpose to further their current losing streak storyline and because they're finished up with AAA. Fightful Select learned that FTR had informed AAA that they wanted to drop the tag team titles and finish up with them at the end of the year. FTR's run has been a surprising one, holding titles in AAA and NJPW, despite the fact that not only do those two companies not work with one another, but that FTR are contracted to AEW. In a recent Fightful interview with Dax Harwood, he said that he believes their contracts with All Elite Wrestling are up in the spring and have considered wrestling off of national television for a while. Providing an update on his status with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Sean Ross Sapp said this about Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's deal hasn't changed since he revealed he was in the middle of a 5-year contract. Fightful spoke with Will Ospreay ahead of Wrestle Kingdom on New Japan World and asked about the nature of contracts and possibilities. Previously, Ospreay had stated publicly that he'd signed a 5-year contract in early 2019. He confirmed that his deal is up in a little over a year in early 2024. He also spoke openly about his feelings. Ospreay said that he's paid very well by New Japan Pro Wrestling, and his heart is still with the company as of now. He said that the 2016 offer from Evolve could have opened a lot of doors, but working with NJPW has been the right decision for him. He'd said in 2019 that he'd not sign with AEW unless they had a partnership with NJPW, which has happened since then. He noted that money talks, but that he has a lot of anxiety about living and staying in the United States and has been more comfortable living in the UK, where he always has. He did note that when he did his AEW appearances, everyone made him feel at home and he enjoyed it. Ring of Honor original Jonathan Carrion recently created a GoFundMe where he is looking for assistance with medical bills for an injury, with it written on the website, "Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, but most in the wrestling world know me as Deranged. This GoFundMe aims to assist me in covering medical/living expenses I've incurred after a severe knee injury which required major surgery and will have me off my feet for 3 to 4 months, and in physical therapy trying to regain full range of motion and the ability to walk for at least 6 months to a year, all depending on how the healing is progressing. Here is the very moment it happened as I come down from the top rope. On October 6th, I suffered the knee injury while performing at a wrestling event. After 3 x-rays and an MRI, it was determined that I had a displaced tibial plateau fracture. A puncture in my meniscus had to be repaired as well. To better explain the terminology, the inside of my knee joint was shattered and the bone fragments weren't in proper alignment where they were supposed to be, so they had to be collected and repositioned and held together with a plate and 11 screws to ensure my knee heals properly. The injury required major surgery immediately. Surgery was performed on November 9th. It was believed to be successful, but I was informed that it would be a long road to recovery. I have to be on crutches from November 2021 to February 2023. From there, if I'm allowed to bear any weight on that leg going forward, determined on how well it is healing, it will be full year to 18 months before I'd be able to engage in athletic activity again. At least 6 to 9 months before I'd be walking as normal again and be able to work. Upon a post-op follow-up with my surgeon, I was told there was potential for me to be unable to fully straighten or bend my leg permanently without long-term physical therapy, so the long recovery time is necessary. I was also informed that if I have an excess of scar tissue built up, hindering my ability to do so 3 months from now, I may need a second minor surgery to fix that problem. I'm hoping not. This has been a sudden shock to not only my body and mind, but also to my economic situation. I'm now unable to work for a long period of time, and covering my medical expenses as well as my living expenses has already been a challenge. My cell phone service has been cut off and car has been repossessed, among the problems I already face. I don't have family to turn to under these circumstances. I understand that times are difficult for everybody, but if anyone is able to donate whatever they can to help me get through this, anyone who knows me personally understands how hard it is for me to ask for help, but this situation has reached a critical point where pride must be set aside and reaching out for help is my only option. Thank you to those who donate, and to those of you who can't donate, I will still be grateful if you pass this along and share the link to this campaign to better my chances of reaching this goal. As Matt Riddle is out of WWE for the time being, he has been accused of cheating on an adult film star with another person in that industry. The woman he was most recently seen with, Misha Montana, took to Twitter to write this: "I'll say this, cheating is not a crime. Telling someone you love them and changing your mind is not a crime. Falling in love with someone isn't a crime. When did it become acceptable to ruin everyone's lives because our hearts were broken? Grow up and think about it." Commentator for AEW Tony Schiavone said this about his commentary career coming to an end on his podcast: "I'm actually, to be honest with you, I think I'm really getting too old for this I really am. No, I do. I really think I'm getting too old for it. I think what's in my future is just maybe podcasting and, I don't know, playing video games. I ain't got many more years left in this business. I don't have, it's a young man's business. And at the age of 65, I realized it. It's a young man's business. The day I turned 40, I needed glasses that day. The day I turned 65, I just woke up tired, and I've been tired ever since then. I'm telling you, I've been tired. I just think that life is on the way downhill right now." During a live event for WWE, the referee threw up an X to signal an injury as AJ Styles was helped to the back by trainers. PW Insider added that, for those of you who have asked, the AJ Styles injury earlier tonight was 100% legitimate and not part of some sort of storyline work for the show. We were told it was likely an ankle injury and Styles will be getting it checked out ASAP. In some unfortunate news, independent wrestler Jaysin Strife has passed away at the age of 37 as his brother took to Twitter to write, "They say every time a bell rings, a Strife gets his wings." Today, December 29th, 2022, at 9:55 p.m., the world lost an icon. After a long, intense battle, he finally couldn't kick out anymore. His impact in and out of the ring has been felt by us all, and the love shown is not lost on the family. Thank you all for your thoughts and kind words, but more importantly, your prayers. At the end, Nate gave his life to Christ, giving our family the peace of knowing he's joined his beloved Grandma Pat. The mint chip ice cream and cookies are waiting, bro. Thank you all for your support. The Blodgetts. Many in the wrestling community would react, writing, "Walked back through the curtain after my match and found out Jaysin Strife just passed away. I've been wrestling Strife since 2005. Easily one of my favorite opponents. We always brought out the best in each other. Going to miss you. You had a profound impact on me in the short amount of time we knew each other. I know there is a lesson in all of this, but right now, I just wanted to send all my love to his friends and family. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Love your people and tell them you love them. Godspeed, Jaysin Strife. Thank you for always doing it the right way. I never saw you treat anybody with anything other than respect, myself included. I'm glad that we met and worked together, and I'm so glad we got to catch up a couple of weeks ago. Rest well, my brother." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.